all, greetings from the apocalypse. Since my brand new setting tools came out, I've been getting a lot of questions, of course, about setting, unsurprisingly. So I thought today we'd talk a little bit about how the angle at which you set is so important to getting everything the way you want it to be. So we're gonna cover that first, and then we're gonna talk about the boogeyman, which is setting those bezels with corners. So a really essential thing when you're going to set a cabochon or a faceted stone is the angle at which you hold your tool. Now, I'm not gonna hold my tool like I normally do with my hand wrapped all the way around it because I want you to more easily be able to see the angle. But 45 degrees is the angle that you want your tool to be at. The most common mistake is that people are holding their tool maybe right down here, something like that. And what happens is force always follows the path of least resistance, right? This is something we know from science class. So if I'm pressing here, the force goes across and basically ejects your stone. I don't have the stone in there right now. It's going to be this gorgeous carnelian when we actually set. So get your angle up high, 45 degrees, because when you hold your tool like this, the force presses in and presses the stone down in toward the bottom. The edge gets closer to the stone. Basically, it just starts to pinch everything in place. Too low, the force kind of travels across, and from any of you who have had that experience, will eject your stone at surprisingly high speeds. So usually what I tell people to do when they're going to set to make sure they have the right angle is to take their elbow and stick it up in the air. So I'll show you what that looks like. You see this? 45 degrees. Boop. 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 45 degrees. Anything below 45 degrees, you're going to have a hard time when you set. So a great way to make sure that your tool is actually at 45 degrees is stick your elbow up in the air when you're setting. Basically that thing that your mom would always tell you at the dinner table when you were little to get your elbows down, forget all that and get that elbow up in the air, because I guarantee you if your elbow is like down here when you're setting, you're not at the right angle. You've got to get it like this. Elbow up in the air. Just make sure no one's right behind you or else you might smack them. So you see this? If I'm holding it with my elbow up, boop, when I press in, force is going to travel down my shoulder, right through my hand, through the handle of your tool, which is the reason why it's so important to have a tool, by the way, that fits in the palm of your hand so the force can just travel right through. And you see that? I'm resting the tool right on that very top edge. So get that elbow up. If you do that, I can practically guarantee you'll be getting a high enough angle and your setting will go a lot better. And here's the thing, what if it's not at 45 degrees? What if it's a little higher? What if it's at, I don't know, 50 degrees? Guess what? That's fine. It's lower than 45 that all the problems start, okay? So stick that elbow up in the air and you'll find things start to go a lot easier.